Welcome, everyone, to the Writers' Round, the Writers' Lounge. Everyone okay? Little lunch heavy? I always say the afternoon session is brought to you by carbohydrates. It's a little bit of a lull. It's the afternoon lull. But thank you for being here. We're going to share some songs. And so you guys have been to these events before, know that we do an afternoon writers round, and we just go around and share songs, tell a story behind the song. And we were talking at lunch about, well, what songs should we share? Because sometimes I'll kind of take a unconventional route, and I'll have some of the worship leaders that come in. I'll say, hey, share a song that you might not sing on a Sunday morning, or that maybe it's not worship centric. Maybe it's like a singer-songwriter tune, something you wrote that's out of the box, that's maybe for your family, or maybe a relationship song or something like that. So sometimes we just share different stuff. But I'm up for whatever. I'm sure you guys are up for whatever. Who do you guys want to hear from first? Line it up. You have to go with me. Me? I don't know about this. Unbelievable. How about I say this as well? I'd love to answer some questions, do like a Q&A thing as well. If there was a really good question asked at the breakout session today with Rachel, and we'd love to just kind of spitball thoughts about worship, writing, releasing music, family, traveling, whatever. All of us do all those things. And so if you guys have any questions, just think of them, write them down, and we'll do a little bit of question and answer in between songs, or maybe at the end of this. So would love to just actually engage with what you guys care about too, and not just do stuff that we love and we care about. So, but yeah, how about I'll open us up in a song. That happened to me last year too. Give them what they want. Let's see, I pulled this one out. So, here we go.
Can I jump in real quick and say, if you have a specific question you want us to talk about, can
Yeah.
y'all text me? If you don't have my phone number, most people do. So just text me a question if you want us to talk about it.
Yeah. And do you guys have any questions now while we get set up and do a first song? Any questions? I'm trying to stall my first song. You guys are really not here, are you? All right. Well, I don't want to go super deep and sentimental, but those are the kinds of songs I like to share. How about a brand new song? You guys that have been around me know I write songs for my kids. And my wife is 9 months pregnant right now. So I'm on call. So I'm not looking at the words. I'm actually just ready for a phone call. No, I'm both. I just wrote this for baby number 4. So the little one will be here soon. And what we've always done with the kids is we wait to find out the gender until delivery day. And so we have a gender reveal party with the midwife and the nurse, and her mom is invited, of course. But we never know if it's going to be a boy or a girl. And so I've always written songs for my kids when they're still in the womb before I meet them. And then I sing them to them as they grow up. And so I've got a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and now almost newborn. And so I wrote this one for baby number 4, and it's called 4. And it's a sort of play on words. And it's also a musical play on chords, 1, 2, 3, 4, and because I'm nerdy with theory like that. So it's a play on a lot of things. This is, we'll see. Where am I going to be able to see the words the best? and then scroll through. No, don't worry about it. You don't have to. I'm not going to relegate you to be a phone stand. Truly, you're too important for that. All right, let's see if I can get through this because it's a little sentimental for me. But here's 4. What's this for? Have I forgotten what it's like to be overcome by the coming of your life? You are for me, and I am a 1, 2, 3 for you. What's this for? And how can I unlearn? Take me back for more of the wonder when I first heard you are for me. I will not be forgetting. 2024, and you got me guessing again. Where were you before? Only heaven can explain. You are my fortune. God is 1, 2, 3 forming us. Where's my 4? I can see you growing quiet, but I can't hear your voice. Come and sing your song tonight. Cause I am for you. You are 1, 2, 3 for glory. You're my forest for the trees, trying to look past what I can see. Life's got a funny way of being in the way. I need a miracle breath to breathe out, believe my unbelief. Behold the wonder of this newest beauty. Let me be your fortress. You are 1, 2, 3 4 gorgeous. Let me be your fortress. You are 1, 2, 3 4 greatness. So there's my old play on words and chords, if you can guess the 1, 2 minor, 3, 4, and all the 4s. It's probably, I was telling them at lunch, it's probably it's the most prophetic thing I've ever done, to write songs for my kids out of the Father's heart, out of my heart, but also out of the Father's heart, the Lord, and then watch them grow up to that song. I think I might have shared a song a couple years ago that I wrote for my number 2, and his name is Brave. And even before we decided to call him Brave, I wrote this line in it that says, "You are brave here in my arms." And it was about like, you know, you'll be scared one day and you'll go through life, but don't worry, you are brave. And then just sing that over him. And to realize, wow, that was prophetic, to sing his name and to know that my kids ask for their songs. It's like, play my song, and to be able to, and then watch them grow up and watch them learn how to talk and watch them learn how to, get sneaky and bend the rules, and it's just been a beautiful thing for our family to experience that. And I actually have had a turning of perspective in the last year, especially since being in Muscle Shoals with you, Rachel. I always said, and I'll still always say this, that if these songs that I write for my kids never make it outside of my home, I'm okay with that. They don't need to. I actually want to protect them and keep them in my home because I don't want them to become ordinary. I want them to stay holy and beautiful for my kids. But in the last year, I've really been encouraged by some spiritual mentors of mine and some fathers in my life to put them out and to let other people be blessed by them too. So I'm looking forward I've started demoing them and looking forward to putting some of them out under a different moniker, probably not under my worship artist name, but just explore the singer-songwriter world and making music outside of the church. So there's my song. Someone else take it away. I think everyone is chomping at the bit to hear Trulah again, so I'm going to pass it right to my right, Miss Trulah.
Check, 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 check. 1, 2.
We could get more of her voice up here. It'd be great.
Hello, hello. Check, 1, 2, check, check. I would encourage you guys, I'm actually going to study it myself because while I was putting together kind of the presentation from earlier, where it said multiple places, psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, I'm going to do a deep dive into the differences between those. And I think there's room for a lot more than we even know. What does that entail? The Psalms, you read through the Psalms, that's like anguish and feeling and grit and raw before the Lord. And then hymns is like these verses and truths. And spiritual songs, songs of the Spirit. So I'm just thinking about that while we're singing different kinds of songs, maybe in your own time, in your own study, really dive into that. I'm going to do that, I think, this week. But let's see. If you were in the breakout session, we talked about, someone had asked a question about what do you do when you feel like you can't finish a song. And a lot of songs, some songs come fast. There's these 15-minute songs, and then some songs take a while. And then some songs you might feel like you should bring to someone else. I'm one who I didn't want to co-write very much. I like knowing where it came from and that it was raw before the Lord. But we're talking about an instance where it was really a place of ministry. The co-write happened. We didn't set out to write a song. But I was just with my friend, and she was sharing different things she was going through. And I just started playing what that sounded like. Then I started singing what she was saying back to her. And we both had this moment of ministry. So I'm just going to sing that song since it's kind of relevant to what we were talking about in the breakout. But this is called Till It Kills Me. Mind on the loose, running freely. Though I could choose, it's not that easy. All the things I leave behind, living for another life. Guess I will love you till it kills me. Mind on the loose, can you heal me? I'm always accused of what I used to be, reaching for the things I know, something that'll make me whole. But I'm gonna till it fills me. Fill me to a quiet place. Give me peace that's heaven sent, surpassing what I understand. Fill me till I overflow. Keep me when I wanna go. You're my everlasting home. Mind on the loose, would you cleanse me? Invade every room, renew my thinking. Troubled waters of the mind, I need you to walk beside. I'm gonna love you till it stills me. Still me to a quiet place. Be my only hideaway. Lord, I'm needing your embrace. I'm gonna love you through and through. I wanna love like you. So I'll love you till it kills me.
It's amazing.
I don't want to follow that.
No.
Wow. So were you saying that was a co-write?
Yes, with a friend of mine, we were just hanging out as friends. We didn't set out to do a co-write, and then we were talking about stuff, and we were talking about what it's like to die to your flesh, and how. So that song's actually about, till it kills me. I want to love you till it kills my flesh, and just the struggle of that. Yeah.
Wow. That's great. Well,
Insane.
give it to the lady at the piano already.
Hey, everybody. Man, I feel like the songs that I've put out, a lot of them they started from, I was a worship pastor for a long time, and so a lot of them were moments of worship that ended up becoming songs, and then I also have a lot of songs that were like my secret place songs before the Lord. And I'm actually, in 2025, I have 13 songs in production right now, and I'm about to start release cycle. And it's a very new era of song writing for me, personally. And I felt like the Lord asked me a couple of years ago, I felt like he gave me an invitation to help teach the church to grieve. And that was a challenging invitation for me because I hadn't ever grieved. If you guys are Enneagram people, if you're not, don't tell me it's demonic. I just don't talk about it. But if the Enneagram is real, and just about it. But I'm a 7 through and through, so I'm just like, everything is fine. We're going to have a good time. I don't want to talk about anything that's sad. I want to have a good time all the time. And so I really had to learn the heart of the Lord, that is the inventor of grief, that he is a friend in grief, and he loves the gift of grief. And so this project is called Songs from the Valley. And it is really like me and the Lord learning to grieve. And so this song is, it's called Here's to the Almosts. And you guys heard me this morning talk about, I had a season of literally losing like everything. And so there's a lot of songs where I process through that in the grid of emotion. But this is actually kind of one of my resolution songs where I didn't have, like, circumstantially, there wasn't ever going to be a conversation or something that would happen that resolved this. I just kind of had to choose. Like, there's no closure, and you can't choose closure, but you can choose resolution in the Lord. And so this song is just basically my choosing of, it's like a cheers to what I thought would be and what could have been. So this is Here's to the Almost. Here's to the almost, bittersweet unknowns, to the dreams without a home to me, but they decompose so suddenly, to the ends I didn't see coming, but maybe that's just what I needed. And it was thank God for every no that I didn't get what I hoped. I thought this was my final hello, so goodbye felt like a fatal blow. A white knuckle grip till I was a ghost, to hold on to what I wanted most. What was almost. Raise a glass to the almost, the chapter's final word. So many stories that are left untold in another world than the path I chose. What I wouldn't give to see unfold, to know what would have been on a different road. What was cheers to what I don't know. I'll enjoy what's not disclosed. I'll leave the pen alone. Learn to trust the story the Lord wrote. I'll rest and let it go. Let it all go. Let it go. Thanks. I also have lost my voice for the last 3 weeks, so that is the first time I've sang in the month of March, so God bless.
Amazing.
Want to just keep rolling?
I say we keep rolling, yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have to, I want to tell you guys just a couple sentences of my testimony before I do this song for you so that it grounds it and makes sense. I started writing songs when I was 15, and I wanted to be a cool kid for Jesus doing sneaky music in the bars and clubs. Like we talked about this morning, I had a band, I had a rock band, I wore big boots, lots of metal jewelry, it was awesome. We were making good music, and no one was coming to any of the shows. And so I felt like I was making good music, and I was hitting my head against the wall over and over and over again. And so I had a series of conversations with my dad. He's a very wise man. And I said, what's going on, Dad? Why is this not working? And he said, well, have you been doing what you want to do to serve God? Or have you asked God how he wants you to serve him? And I was like, oh, really good question. I maybe should have wrestled with that more. And so my dad asked me, who are you? Who have you uniquely been equipped by the Lord to be? And I was like, it blew my mind because I am a preacher's kid. My wise father is a Southern Baptist preacher. And I was raised in the church, and I've been following Jesus since I was 8 and never took a detour on that path. I am a church kid, and the people that were being touched by my music did not want to come to a club on Saturday night at 11. They wanted to go to bed so they could be at church on Sunday morning. And those are the people I've uniquely been gifted to speak to. I know the Bible. I was captain of VBS, you know. So then I experienced that freedom in the Lord, even though initially I didn't want to be a Christian musician. That's not what I wanted. But when I started asking God how he wanted to use me, that made all the difference. So I started taking deep dives into biblical people because I feel like God equipped me to see them as real people and not as cartoons on the board at VBS, right? To see them as real people who made big mistakes, who struggled with their faith, and yet God brought them through it and did so much work through them. And so in the last several years of my life as an artist, I've been doing concept albums on biblical people. And so this song, I'm currently releasing songs for a concept album called Bloodline. And it's all about women in the genealogy of Jesus and talking about their stories. This song, it was totally coincidence, came out today. I didn't plan it for the worship conference.
Streaming on all platforms right now.
But it did come out today. I kind of
Aryn
forgot until I got the email this morning. But Sarah is such an interesting person because in the beginning on their journey, Abraham literally uses her body as a shield for his life. He says, hey, we're going to wander through Egypt, and they're probably going to kill me because you're so beautiful. So why don't you just tell everyone I'm your brother, right? And she's like, okay. So her body is being used to protect her husband, right? And then later on, and she's not perfect either. You know, later on, she chooses to use another woman's body because she doesn't have the faith, to hold on, to wait for God's promise. So she turns over Hagar, says, maybe that's the way. So that's what this song is all about, just these women and how God revives them from the inside out over time, over that faith journey, through mistakes that a lot of people are making along the way. So, inside out.
Been handed over, beauty showcased, half-truths and cowardice betrayed. I got no control, I got no say. My only option is to pray. When do I get to decide? It makes me want to laugh, it makes me want to cry. How am I supposed to hold this pressure all inside? Could I really be the one who everybody's counting on? Revive me from the inside out and see who I become. Empty and old, desperate to be unashamed of my reality. If I take control, if I have my way, can I live with the mess I know I make? It makes me want to laugh, it makes me want to cry. How am I supposed to hold this pressure all inside? Could I really be the one who everybody's counting on? Revive me from the inside out, see who I become. Who I become. Revive me from the inside out and see who I become. Oh, I'm eavesdropping at destiny's door. Who are all these promises for? I've been given into fear and to lies. Are miracles still inside? The promise I hold is tender and small. I don't deserve it at all. It came to pass in perfect time. Funny how God's time is never mine. Oh, it makes me want to laugh. It makes me want to cry. How am I supposed to hold this pleasure all inside? Could I really be the one who everybody's cheering on? Revive me from the inside out and see who I become. Who I become. Revive me from the inside out and see who I become. Who I become. Revive me from the inside out, inside out, inside out. Oh, who I become. Revive me from the inside out and see who I'll become.
So good.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me share.
So at this part of the show, we are going to invite a student to come and share one of their songs that they submitted. We sent out maybe a week or two ago, just a little form to submit a song to play and share with everyone at the Writers Round. And I am proud to announce today's selection is Micah Howe. Are you cut capoing or no? Are you cut capoing or no? Okay, let me tune it up for you. You want to stand and sing it? Okay, you need the words. Here, just want you sit in my spot, and I'll hand you my guitar.
Thanks. Sup? So this is actually a song that Jaden and I spent a little time writing together, and yeah, it's about it's called Fortify, and you started with a little chord progression and started with a little hook, and it really just ended up being about finding the Lord in the secret place and finding Him in the ugly places, and kind of a declaration over ourselves to just ask Him to fortify our hearts and to be with us. So, okay. Searching for a place that I can call my home. I've tried and I've tasted of the time that I wasted, nowhere near home. I will seek your face in the secret place, the strongholds where you tuck me in your wings. I will seek your face in the secret place, no longer running from your ways. I've been aimless in these barren wastelands, longing for streams. I've walked and I've wavered into vacant acres, nowhere near streams. And I will seek your face in the secret place, the strongholds where you tuck me in your wings. I will seek your face in the secret place, no longer running from your ways. Fortify this space, fortify my heart, fortify the time between where I am and where you are. Fortify this space, fortify my heart, fortify the time between where I am and where you are. 'Cause I will seek your face in the secret place, the strongholds where you tuck me in your wings. I will seek your face in the secret place, no longer running from your ways.
Micah, that was so good. Wow. That was legitimate chill bumps. That was so good. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Micah Howe. For those of you who may not know, Micah Howe is a second-year worship leadership student and a songwriter, and that was a great song. Enjoyed that. Well, does anyone have any questions, any burning questions that we can answer? No burning questions? No? I love Q&A time. Trulah, you share another song with us. You have a question, Carmen. Go ahead. So for those of you online listening, the question is when you're writing and the Lord gives you a song and you know it's a really beautiful moment in the presence of the Lord and you're writing and then you don't finish it, how do you finish it? And like discipline yourself to finish when you also want to be true to the original, you know, words that you've written, or maybe it's just complete, or do you finish it? You know, how do you navigate that? I don't know if you want to speak to that. I'm sure others will too.
I was talking about this a little in the breakout, a similar question of like, sometimes people use like writer's block, they have writer's block, and I feel like you can be really harsh on yourself about that, but sometimes it's just developing, like, or you're still living that testimony you're writing about, and so don't beat yourself up all the time. Sometimes it comes in one sitting. I'll probably play a song next that came very fast because it just flew out from me, but the other song was more of a toil, like listening to my friend speak, and then, or there's other songs that take, I mean, I was talking in the breakout about like some songs take years, just not that I'm working on it every day for years, but you sit with it, and then you gotta live a little, and then you come back to it. So yeah, he's the author and finisher, right? So just keep bringing it to him, but also you can incorporate friends or peers, people that you look up to or that you think, like if you feel like the Spirit is on them, like bring them into it. Collaboration is great as well to get things finished. As long as you have that initial, idea and you have the vision you can share with someone else. I think those are good ways. But
Yeah, songs are they're like seeds. They grow. It takes time. Some songs come right away. Some take time. I mean, yeah, I think it's important to not be too afraid of collaborating with other people. Collaborating with other people is daunting, right? I mean, Trulah mentioned that when it's your song, you don't want to give it to someone else because they might turn it into something you don't like. That's the fear. But there's a beauty of collaborating. I mean, I had written a song about a year ago in April, and I felt like it just wasn't finished, but it was like probably one of my most favorite songs I've ever written. And I took it to Rachel in June, and I was like, I just feel like you're supposed to round the corner of this thing. And she brightened up the verses, she contributed, she wrote the bridge. But there's risk in doing that, isn't there? There's risk in, first of all, there's vulnerability in it. It's like, here's my song, here's my heart. But the greater the risk, the greater the reward, And it's probably one of my favorite songs I've ever written, that Yes song that we collaborated on. But don't be afraid to collaborate, or be afraid but be brave and do it anyway.
It teaches you humility when you're willing to let other people speak into your ideas. Yep. And if you're willing to consider it, and you'll be like, oh, well, actually, that idea was pretty good. Yep. Maybe even better than mine. One last word of practical wisdom on this front. I had a friend, Bonnie, who said once that she has a lot of songs that come to her, and she considers them crock pot songs. Like, they're just not cooked all the way. And she wants them to be done, but she's like, I think if I take a bite of this one, it's going to make me sick because it's not done. So she just throws it back in the crock pot to let it cook longer. And I love that. So it feels like there's still things simmering. There's still things cooking. Just like Trulah said, you might need to live more. But practically, make yourself a folder somewhere, a physical folder, a digital folder. Call it crock pot songs so that you don't forget, so that you know that folder God gave you to steward. And maybe you come back to it next month, maybe next year, but those ideas are there and they're not lost for when the time's ready to take them out.
I would also say, just quickly, I think you need to be careful about how you steward people's hearts in this and be really kind about it and humble. But I've had co-writes where I brought somebody a start that was really meaningful to me, and we wrote on it, and I sat with it later, and I was like, that was not it. And I had a conversation with them about it, and the person I had brought it to, like, they're a writer, and so it's really not personal at all. Like, the more and more you do it, it's like songs are very precious and incredible, and they feel like this is my firstborn child, but it's like really actually not that serious, and it's precious and amazing, and yay, hold it with reverence. It's also just a song, and you're never going to run out. That's like a scarcity mindset sometimes that we have, is like, this is the song, but it's like, no, God is never going to run out of things to say. He's never going to run out of melody. Like, there's infinite amounts of ways you can say things and music to go with that, but I have taken songs to other people, or I thought I finished a song with somebody, and then I brought it to somebody else, and we edited it and finished it. So I don't think that it's not like, okay, it's so serious that if I bring it to this one person to help me finish it, and then it doesn't immediately click, then I'm stuck with whatever they said. Like, we can be more casual than that. Like, it can be a lot less daunting than that, I think.
Yeah, and I think to remember as well, there's really no rules to all of this, right? Like, oh, well, I shouldn't do that because of this, or that's not how you do it. There's really no rules to this. There's relationship to this. So you honor the relationships you're in, and sometimes you have to backpedal a little and go, hey, I don't think that was it. I think I'm going to keep working on it. So there's relationship that you honor in it. And for those of you that have gone through my worship Spec 2 class, the specialization class in the second semester, we write songs. And even this week, I had a student say, I tried I couldn't come up with anything, and I don't have anything for this assignment. And I said, well, that's because you're trying to write something great. Stop trying to write something great. Well, just write something goofy. Just write about how you can't write a song. You know, we get so pigeonholed in our thinking that we think what we're going to write will define us, or it will be something somewhere, and we don't want to put it out there. It's like there's also a discipline to writing that's good for us, and it's okay to embrace the discipline of doing something even when you don't want to do it. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Even in your faith, do you only spend time with God when you're inspired to spend time with God? No, you discipline yourself to be devoted to the Lord. And so you memorize Scripture not because you feel like it, but you memorize Scripture because it's formational. And you get into the discipline of honoring the Lord with your time. There's more times than not that I'm with the Lord out of discipline rather than some inspired, super revelational moment that I have. Like, I got to do this. It's the same in marriage. You can talk about anything, marriage, any sort of professional discipline, when you do it because, think about athletes. You don't just do it when you feel inspired to do it. It's actually the discipline of doing it when you don't want to do it that is formational. And so when you approach songs like that, I'm going to discipline myself to finish this and craft the song, creatively craft it. And if it doesn't turn out the way I want to, then I'll redo it in a few months from now. So just know that just don't see yourself as writing the next hit thing. Just do it out of a place of discipline or desire or collaboration. Any other good questions out here? Ciara. How do you steward songs that God gave you in dreams? Who wants to answer that?
I would love to.
Well, I was saying this morning I had a dream. I don't think you were here when I said this. What? Oh. No, that was something separate. Yeah. Go ahead. You got something.
I have so many dreams, and I love talking about dreams. I've always been a dreamer. All my whole life I've had very vivid dreams. But when I wasn't walking with the Lord, for the first 18 years, 19 years of my life, they were night terrors every night. And I would wake up, and I would have actual physical, very visceral encounters with demons. All growing up, and then I was delivered from that, and I didn't dream at all for a year, and then I was like, man, I really miss dreaming. And then now it's actually a really beautiful place of encounter and communion with the Lord in my dream life. And I really believe that there's a biblical principle of stewardship equals increase, and so the more you steward that, the more you'll have, and the clearer they'll be, and all things. So I always try, when I have a song in a dream, you're talking about nighttime dreams, right? Not just the dream of your heart? Okay, just making sure that I wasn't totally off base in what you're asking. That'd be a very different answer. When I wake up, it makes me laugh so hard to go back and listen to these. But I always make a voice memo immediately. And it's so funny to listen later because I'd be like, yeah. And you think most of the time, you're like, that is the most profound thing I've ever had. And then you listen to it 5 hours later and you're like, okay, whoa. But I have had dreams where I've had a full song come to me in a dream. And I will always try to voice memo it. And then I will sit with it and I'll write it down, and I'll usually write chord structure around it. And then I just usually steward it like a normal start of a song. So I have so sometimes I'll sit with it and I'll write a song right in that moment. But I have a note folder on my phone. If you guys don't know that there's folders on your notes app, some people don't know that, and it's baffling to me because I have 20 billion folders. You also have folders on your voice memos, if you didn't know that. And so I have a song start folder on my notes and in my voice memos. And so sometimes I'll feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so moved by this song, and I'll go steward it for myself. But a lot of times it's my crockpot song. I love that term. I just call them starts. But then I'll bring it to somebody else, or I'm in a context where I'm in co-writes all day, every day. And so I feel like the Lord, for me, a lot of times it'll be like a little deposit that I usually use later for somebody else, where then like a couple days later I'll be sitting in a write and somebody brings up a topic and I'm like, oh my gosh, I had a dream with a melody that would go really well with that, or something, where I think stewardship doesn't have to look urgent necessarily. Like I don't have to hurry to finish a song for me to be a good steward of it. A lot of times the stewardship is just have it in a voice memo, have it on a note, and I'm good to go.
And then when you realize that you can share a voice memo to a note and attach it to a note.
And it'll transcribe it for you.
Ooh. Y'all just spend
Thank
some
you,
time in your
Apple.
voice notes and your notes app on your iPhones. It's amazing.
Life-changing.
Yep. It's a good question. Yeah. I like the stewardship idea. Like, don't be in a hurry, you know.
Yeah.
I actually had this revelation the other day. I was thinking, I know why Jesus wasn't married. Because he was never in a hurry. I feel like I'm always in a hurry because I'm married.
Oh my gosh.
But just don't be in a hurry to do stuff. Like Jesus was never in a hurry, you know. You have a question?
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So the question for those online listening is for Miss Aryn. She has a project. Is it called Pariah?
Pariah.
Yeah, and where she released a series of songs. And so it's like, how did you come up with that concept? Like, where did that come from? Oh yeah. So how do you balance those where you're telling the story of the biblical character, but it's still also, it's like it's about me. It's like it's my story. This is so relevant to people right now. Yeah. Which is interesting because the song you just shared is kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's like about Sarah, and it's about, not being certain, but it's so real to us right now.
Yeah.
How do you do it? Give us the secret sauce.
Well, so as far as like conceiving of the concept albums, with that one in particular, I had two songs. One that was about David when he was on the run, and the other one was about the woman, who we don't know her name, but she's about to be stoned to death for adultery. And I had those two songs, and that I knew I wanted to include on something. And I just, asking the Lord, like, how do these two things go together? And then eventually, God just gave me the idea that these are both people who are very different people, with very different stories, but they were both outcasts in that moment of their life. And so I thought, wow, like, I can see all these biblical people. Moses, who had a lot of power, but was an outcast at some point. Leah, who was always second choice. Like, the thing that made them an outcast, the circumstances so different, but they all experienced that same kind of rejection. And so it was having a couple songs and then seeing what the big picture was that brought them all together. It was actually the same thing with Bloodline. I had a song about Rahab, and I was like, what do I do with a song about Rahab? And it just built from there. But as far as making it feel today and relevant, I always try to hold a person that I know in mind, like in my own life, who has experienced somewhat similar circumstances, to ask myself, how would they talk about this pain or grief or victory or whatever it is, so that I use the language of a person that I know, so that it feels authentic, but is still kind of grounded in the biblical story. Thanks for asking.
That's so good. I want to go back to the dream question. There was a question asked about how do you, how do you write songs or steward songs about a dream that you might have had in a dream? Like maybe a melody came to you in a dream or some words came to you in a dream. I actually had a dream that I was preaching a message, and then there was a song afterwards, and I couldn't hear any of the words, but I knew the song was about what I just preached about. And it was just a little snippet of a teaching I did about the train of the robe, of Jesus' robe. And so in Isaiah 6 it says, the train of his robe fills the temple with glory. Yeah. And if you understand ancient Near East culture, there's this understanding that when a king would conquer another kingdom, they would take that kingdom's king and they would take the robe of that king or the train of that king's robe, and they would sew it to their robe. And so the longer the train of a king's robe, the more kings they have conquered. And so when it says the train of his robe fills the temple with glory, that's because his robe is so long because he's conquered every kingdom and king. Yeah. And those trains of those other conquered kings' robes were sewed to the robe of our conquering king. Yeah. I mean, it just takes like conquest to a whole new level when you understand that contextually in the ancient Near East. And it's like, whoa, that's why his train fills the temple with glory, because he has triumphed gloriously. According to the first worship song in the whole Bible in Exodus 15, it says he has triumphed gloriously. Horse and rider he's hurled into the midst of the sea. Like in my dream, I was teaching that, and then the people were singing what I was teaching, but there wasn't any words. And I woke up and I was like, there has to be a song about this. How do we paint the imagery of like sewing another king's robe, a conquered king, to the King of Kings' robe and to the train of his robe? And so I actually sat on that for probably like a year. And I took it to some songwriters that I was with in Chicago a couple weeks ago. And it was risky because I have this idea, like, let's write a song about this visual concept. How can we paint this picture? And then we wrote the song. And I feel like it does a good job. Like, I'm not disappointed at all by the song. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is awesome. And it was fun to write with the guys, and they got jazzed about it. And so there's a song called Here Comes the King, the Train of His Robe. And it's a blast. But that's how that dream, like, kind of, and collaborating with other people, that risk of collaborating, materialized. You want me to sing the song? Let me see if I can find it. The train of his robe. All right. This one, it's a little intense. I mean, rightfully so, right? Okay. Let's get tuned up here. All right, let's see if we can do this. I played it last weekend at an event. Let me see if I can get a pick. It needs a pick. Any guitarists in the room? This is an SD card.
It could work.
Just use it. The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Here's a fitting one. It's a visible V pick. All right, here comes the King. Here comes the King, clothed in majesty and glory. Here comes the King, ever crowned in victory. Here comes the King, elders singing holy, holy. Here comes the King, there's no end to his story. the train of your robe shows you've conquered every foe. Friends and enemies know you're the king of all. Now clap with me. Tap. Like 4 on the floor. Here comes a king, taking what was once lost. Here comes a king, smashing all our idols. Here comes the king, every enemy will tremble. Here comes the king, every other king must bow low. The train of his robe shows he's conquered every foe. Friends and enemies know he's the king of all. All right, this part's a little funky. I think I might need like a rapper to do this or something. It goes like this. We're tearing off the robes of the enemy and taking off the things that had a hold of me. Pulling down strongholds, laying down idols, bringing it before you for your glory. We're bringing you the spoils of your victory. The train of your robe we're beholding. Your conquest, our offering, filling up the temple with your glory. Something like that. The train of his robe shows he's conquered every foe. Friends and enemies know he's the king of all. Say he's the king of all. He's the king of all. He's the king. He's the king of all. That's how it goes.
I love it.
I wrote it with 2 other guys, a drummer and another worship leader, and it was like Testosterone City writing this song.
I could tell you had a drummer writing
Yeah.
on that one, yeah.
Maybe another song, huh? It was a fun song to write and a fun song to do, but it's not really like your Sunday morning song, right? It's kind of, I mean, maybe it is, but like I feel like it needs a little bit of that teaching before you do it, so you can understand. Like if you start singing, we're tearing off the robes of the enemy, it just, it needs that instruction in order to really come alive. But it's a blast. Yeah. Aryn, give us a song.
Oh, no, let our guest artist sing before we run out of time.
Yeah, we got a couple more minutes. Want to do another song? You guys want to hear another song from Trulah?
Even a kind of moody. This is one of those ones that came kind of fast and right off the heart. It's kind of become a life. I think it'll be a life anthem because it's just a stance. Like, as for me, I will trust the Lord. And with a lot of these things I've been speaking about with music, there's so many ways of the world and systems, and this is kind of my stance in it. Some trust in this, some trust in that, but as for me, I will trust in the Lord. There's nothing wrong with sitting at his feet while time moves along,
But what could I lose if not for my own gain? We all must choose when he calls our name. Some will trust in chariots, some trust the horse, but as for me, I'm trusting in the Lord. Some will follow any voice, whatever strikes a chord, but as for me, I'm hanging on your every word. Yes, for me, I will trust the Lord. There's nothing wrong with learning to be still. It's only right that emptiness be filled, 'cause nothing I do could grant me any peace like what comes from you. Here on my knees, some will trust in chariots, some trust the horse, but as for me, I'm trusting in the Lord. Some will follow any voice, whatever strikes a chord, but as for me, I'm hanging on your every word. Some will trust in chariots and some trust the horse, but as for me, I'm trusting in the Lord. Some will follow any voice, whatever strikes a chord, but as for me, I'm hanging on your every word. Yes, for me, I will trust the Lord. This world may think I've lost my head to stand on every word he said, but I'll gladly be a fool for him, 'cause he's the good portion. Some trust in chariots, some trust the horse. As for me, I'm trusting in the Lord. Some will follow any voice, whatever strikes a chord, but as for me, I'm hanging on your every word. Yes, for me, I will trust the Lord. As for me, I will trust the Lord.
Thank you. So good. Trulah, that is actually my favorite song of yours, so thanks for playing it. Oh, we have time. I got a quick one, so I'll do one, then we can swap. You can close this out. Okay. This is probably the most recent song I finished. I just wrote it last month. I am 41 years old. I would encourage you all to own however old you are. It's harder for women as we get older. I'm 41 years old, and I am square in the middle. If, Lord willing, I have an average lifespan, I'm square in the middle of this mortal life at 41 years old. And so this song is a little bit of my midlife crisis. Not really. I'm not having a midlife crisis. This song is about I would have probably be having a midlife crisis if I didn't have Jesus. And that's really what it's about, is that you get this point in your life and you see a lot of pain and loss coming because it's inevitable. And how would you move on without him? So that's what this is about. I have lived 1,000 days and then a few thousand more. Circumstances and choices made. I've walked through many a door. Happiness and sadness are fleeting. Like passing clouds, they come and they're gone. I'm feeling all the cracks in foundations that weren't worthy to build my dreams upon. I need a reason to walk on. I'm needing something more than a temporary feeling. I need a reason to wake up in the morning and to wrestle till I sleep. Thank God that I've got a reason. I got a reason. Long gone are days of innocence. I'm weary from the climb. More suffering is plain to see. In the second half of this life, the rain could be a curse or a blessing, yeah. But either way, the rain, it will come. I need a reason to walk on. I'm needing something more than a temporary feeling. I need a reason to wake up in the morning and to wrestle till I sleep. Oh, thank God I got a reason. I got a reason. You bring my heart to joy in desperate seasons. You put air in my lungs so I'll keep breathing. You give me songs to sing so I'll keep singing. All I have and all I need, and you're the reason. Oh, you're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason. Thank you. Thanks for letting me share.
I think Miss Rachel will close us out today.
Great.
Give us one more song.
Yeah. We'll see if I can squeak it out. I just got my talking voice back like a day ago, so feels a little spicy to sing. I was also telling them earlier, so many of the rights that I'm in, I'm like working, there's usually like a producer in the room, and so I'm usually sitting there not doing anything instrumentally. So many of the songs I feel really excited about right now, I have no idea what they were playing. So, nor do we have it written down. So I just search around. This one is called My Loss Is Never Lost. And this was written with a couple of my friends. I'm actually going to release this personally. But it's about, again, it goes in that same vein of grieving, but it's kind of an interesting flavor of grief. It's grieving what you thought the Lord said. And we all came to this right, and we were supposed to write for something else, and we all were honestly just kind of messed up that morning. And my friend Ryan, who brought the start, he thought he had really felt like he and his wife felt like they were supposed to buy this property in France, and through a long series of events, there was like so much fundraising. It was this miracle property, and they had it for like 5 years, and then there was something with the refinancing that happened, and they lost the property. And he had to really sit with the Lord and be like, God, I thought you said. And then my friend Katie, she was experiencing a miscarriage recently, and so she was also obviously going through a different kind of grief of like, obviously like, God, I thought you said. And she and her husband have been trying to have a baby for many years, and then I was experiencing several things where I thought I had really, really, really out of bet my bottom dollar I had heard the Lord, and it really turned out differently than I thought. And for me, it was like, man, I think I lost you, Lord, in the middle of, you know, my need for understanding why this didn't work out the way I thought it was going to. And even like us being challenged with like, what if the Lord asks you to do something or asks you to let go of something that doesn't make any sense to you? So it's called Loss Is Never Lost. Am I gonna be alright if the things you say don't go my way? Did I get it wrong in my pursuit of shiny finish lines and clear-cut signs? My only comfort in this mystery is my loss is never lost on you. You feel it too, so I'll wait under the weight with you. If you want me to, may my disappointment point me back to truth. I'm done looking for a fortune teller. I need you, good shepherd. Have I missed you in the middle of what's ahead? And I thought you said, has my need for why become an idol? Am I forcing you to answer questions you don't want to? My only comfort in this mystery is my loss is never lost on you. You feel it too, so I'll wait under this weight with you. If you want me to, may my disappointment point me back to truth. 'Cause I'm done looking for a fortune teller. I need you, good shepherd. You're not worried about my calling. You care more about how we're walking, granting wishes
is not your top priority. You don't hide behind smoke and mirrors. You don't force me to solve a riddle. Confusion isn't your mode of operation. You lead me to stiller waters and greener pastures. Your voice behind me is so much louder, chasing me with your goodness and new mercy. My loss is never lost on you. You feel it too. So I'll wait another way with you. 'Cause you want me to. May my disappointment point me back to truth. Oh, I'm done looking for a fortune teller. I need you, good shepherd.
That's awesome. Well, it's been a good day, guys. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing, all of y'all. Thank you for sharing your songs. I think that one thing that really stood out to me about something Trulah said that maybe we can leave you on this note. She said, and maybe you alluded to it as well, Rachel, that there's really power in your song and in your testimony. And even what Aryn just said, like she was doing this like rock and roll thing and going into the clubs, but she hadn't really asked the Lord, like, what do you have for me? I mean, I got my idea of things. I think we've all been there, and maybe some of us are there. We're like, I know what I want to do, but what does God want me to do? Because it's in that where the grace of God and the anointing of God is going to come upon you to have effective ministry. And it might not be in the church. You know, our friend Ray Hughes says there's a lot of bar musicians that should be playing in churches and a lot of worship leaders that should be playing in bars. Like, ask the Lord what his call and what his idea of what he wants you to do is. And when you get into that place, like Trulah's told so many stories of when she releases her songs that are explicitly about Jesus in a club environment, in a secular place, the power of God falls. Why? Because that's what God designed her to do. He's given her open doors to go into those places, and she's able to be who she is in those spots. And it goes the same with all of us. Like there's, the wind is on your sails, Aryn, and it's on your sails, Rachel. Like the wind of God is on your sails and what you guys are doing. That's why I wanted to bring you all together so much this week, because you've decided to not be doing your own thing and ask God to bless it, but you decided to do God's thing that he has for you, and he blesses that, and the wind of his spirit goes on that, and you can go really far with that. And so really the big takeaway today is, what is God asking you to do? Yeah. And how different is that from what you're presently doing? Mm-hmm. And then how can we realign like in a chiropractic way, like realign ourselves? And it can be painful going to the chiropractor, but it's good for you in the long run. Yeah. You might have to experience the loss of a season of your life, the loss of something beautiful, something that you loved, to step into something more beautiful that God has for you. So maybe that's a takeaway. Maybe that's a takeaway for me, to grieve something, to step into the grief. It's a beautiful thing. God wants to grieve with us through that. And to come, Maranatha, come, Lord Jesus, in the middle of whatever that is, and then do what he has for you. So, Lord, I just bless these students and friends that have, and parents and folks that have come to participate today. Lord, would you realign them? Would you come with your teaching, your correcting, your rebuking, your training, and realign hearts, realign minds to step into what you have for us? And Lord, help us to embrace the pain, the grief, the discomfort that that may cause, so that we can step into the beautiful thing that you have for us, that has your grace on it, that has your favor on it, that has the anointing on it, that we could be effective men and women in the kingdom, citizens, a priesthood, fully functioning in the call that you've put on us. And so we just bless everyone in their going. We commission them to go forth transformed, conformed to the likeness of Christ and to the plan of that you have over their life. In the mighty name of Jesus, amen. Amen. Thank you all so much. Let's give another hand to our guests. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that made this possible. You know who you are, y'all that stepped up, the video team, the sound team. Thank you, sound people. Thank you. This has been brought to you by the Worship Leadership Division, so thank you, worship leading students. Yes, it's about 18 of us online and here in person, and yeah, we rock. Our division is awesome. And thank you, parents and friends and folks that joined us that are not a part of the college necessarily, not students, and may you be blessed in your going. The Lord shine upon you and be gracious to you in Jesus' name.